Being careful and being untrustworthy are two very different things. The fundamental truth that psychology exposes is that those who observe more tend to be less trusting because they can't help but notice it. This isn't about being cold or cynical. Sigma men have often discovered the hard way that skepticism is a sign of safety rather than paranoia. Blind trust is the basis for most people's pleasant lives. According to Robert Greene, an author, never trust anyone completely, since even the most charitable individuals can act towards what you want under the right conditions. This heightened awareness may sometimes cost Sigma guys their comfortable ignorance. Sigma guys claim that this is a pragmatic style of thinking that has been influenced by their own experiences. Consider the consequences of beginning to see patterns in people's behavior, not in the narratives they tell, but in the things they do, in their priorities instead of their pledges. More than their words. Their consistent choices for Sigma males reveal lessons they haven't yet learnt. By the end, you could see that the prudence of the Sigma men is not only understandable but also necessary. Let's examine 6 compelling explanations for their continued skepticism, which stem from their thorough understanding of human nature rather than from fear or resentment. Do you recall that specific fear that, in the wrong hands, turned into someone else's favorite joke, or that secret you revealed that later resurfaced as a danger? Instead of being paranoid, Sigma guys understand that trust changes from link to bound and from connection to control. The scholar Sun Tzu asserts that the ultimate art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Since it exposes weaknesses that others may take advantage of, trust is the finest weapon in contemporary relationships. The shared private information fuels future debates. Leverage is taken from the trust's exposed flaws. Once granted, permissions become duties. The chain examines how confidence is betrayed against Sigma men, turning their reliability into a duty and their constancy into a connection. When someone gains their trust, they often learn to use their honesty to influence them, changing "I trust you" to "If you trust me, you'll do this." Strategic weaponization includes sharing vulnerabilities and using them as targets for future attacks, storing personal information like ammo, and even using predictability, which comes from being reliable, to influence results. The most astounding thing is how shame is intertwined with this breach of trust. After I have told you everything or believed I can trust you, their trust becomes the thread that connects everything. A Sigma person says that the answer is not to stop believing but to realize that trust, like any weapon, must be used wisely, since some people wanted to create barriers rather than connections. Trust is not only about whether someone will harm you, it's also about how much power you're giving them in case they do. Number 2. Past betrayals have taught you important lessons. Betrayal is like a criminal scan for Sigma guys, while others ignore it and go on. While some choose to take swimming lessons, others pick it up on their own. Examining motivations, gathering proof, and comprehending why everything went wrong. Think of trust like a wounded bone that has not been thoroughly healed. In addition to providing healing, betrayal fundamentally alters Sigma males' perceptions of interpersonal relationships. Even if things aren't quite the same, most people go on when it heals. The Greek philosopher Seneca once said that it might require a lot of courage just to survive. This fearlessness is shown by the way profoundly betrayed Sigma men adjust rather than crumble. They become strategic rather than resentful, and they enhance their filters rather than shutting down entirely. These courses vary in size. Every betrayal, whether it comes from a spouse who only exhibited commitment when things were easy, a supervisor who grabbed credit for their efforts, or a buddy who changed sides when it was convenient, increases awareness and filters their trust system. The knowledge kids acquire isn't about avoiding connection, rather, it's about understanding its genuine cost in a world of handshakes. The lessons they learn also stay because they are paid for in suffering. They learn to evaluate others by comparing their words and deeds, as well as by comparing their consistency and conduct throughout prosperous times. Their response stands out for its veracity rather than its lack of trust. Not because they anticipate betrayal, but because they know that prevention is always preferable than treatment. Sigma guys like contracts. These days, when 3 people come out as themselves, it's like a movie plot twist that makes you rewatch the whole film in a different way. People's actual character often comes to light after the harm has been done. According to Samurai, A sword's value is determined by how well it slices a man based on his behavior. For Sigma men, this was accurate. During this testing stage, realities are often disclosed too late in the game. When the real cause is revealed, the mask comes off. After relationships are established and funds are invested, the true self shows through. The amount of time and effort a man spends on himself during his life was summed up by Marcus Aurelius. Although Sigma men are able to see through these self-deceptions, they often accept the supporting colleague until they start competing, the helpful buddy until they need more in return after paying the price of closeness, or the faithful spouse until someone better comes along. Instead of happening all at once, change happens gradually. Perspectives on what was always present. The capacity of Sigma men to adapt to these changes is not what makes them unique. Their refusal to disregard them after months of assurances, the business transaction falls through because people just reach a point when it is no longer worth the effort to keep up the facade. Individuals don't change all at once. Every situation teaches the same lesson. Friendship dwindles as circumstances change, and loyalty vanishes as times become difficult. It takes time for true colors to appear through the paint, they don't alter. The main tragedy is that individuals conceal themselves until they are trusted, rather than coming out as themselves. People's degree of success is influenced by how they handle the fourth slip. Why does seeing someone who has done more than just open doors cause others to respond differently? It becomes clear who was initially keeping them silent. Sigma men often see this directly when their independence and success change how other people perceive them, revealing the underlying darkness of self-interest, envy, and adoration. At first, the change seems innocuous, like a few additional compliments. For Sigma guys, unexpected invitations or a friend who suddenly becomes more supportive swiftly point to a trend. Instead of praising their success, individuals are positioning themselves to gain from it. While some could see it as a chance to climb on their coattails, others might be genuinely happy for them. But because they can't stand to see someone succeed when they didn't, some individuals cut off their friendships. It's obvious who is really happy for you and who is afraid of your success when colleagues go from cooperative to competitive success. They are able to see through this pattern of conduct, which turns into a kind of social X-ray, since they have learned that success not only transforms your life but also impacts how everyone strives to be a part of it. This isn't because they're cynical. Casual acquaintances announce strong affinities, old classmates recall friendships that never existed, and distant relatives suddenly find their familial ties, all of which have a purpose that is barely concealed by pleasant smiles when the spotlight is on them. Fifth, because devotion is sometimes conditional, it may be difficult to discern the shadow of good intentions. Like love, loyalty has the same problem. Although everyone says it, very few people really understand it, and even fewer truly show it. Like the weather, most allegiances change with the winds, with Vans identifying the strongest according to Breeze philosopher Nassim Taleb. The true test of dedication is not easy situations but rather challenging ones. Sigma guys are constantly reminded of this fact. Presumed devotion only endures as long as it is advantageous or convenient for the other party. Naturally, this isn't always the case. Examples include the friend who runs away when you're not the center of attention, the spouse who falters when commitment requires sacrifice, and the colleague who abruptly departs when credit is involved. Even if there are decent individuals who are always honest, many men have seen through experience that loyalty often hinges on circumstances rather than intentions. The terms are always evident, yet they are never addressed. As long as you are successful and helpful, I will remain faithful. As long as you agree with me, I don't have a better alternative, and it doesn't cost me anything. Although the concept itself is mocked by these unseen phrases and circumstances, Sigma men possess a special insight because of this pattern. They like clear terms that don't need complete devotion since they want to know where they stand rather than be misled by hollow promises. Since most individuals aren't prepared to accept the fact that unconditional devotion is as uncommon as gold without fool's gold. Number 6. True loyalty is determined by deeds when something better comes along rather than by words or promises. It is seen as weak to be nice. There is a subtle power to compassion, even if not everyone feels it. Because some people believe that being helpful equates to having no limits, kindness and cavity are sometimes misconstrued. In a world that often favors taking above giving, Sigma men frequently find themselves in this situation not because they are weak but rather because their compassion stands out. The doormat effect is a phenomenon that happens when people take advantage of compassion since it's easier than returning it. Though they don't regret being kind, these Sigma men have discovered that kindness often attracts the wrong kind of attention. Consider a core employee who consistently goes above and above only to be given more work to do because they'll handle it, or a buddy who always listens but ignores their own struggles when they need assistance. When Sigma men see this trend, they adjust and begin to draw more distinct lines. The challenge for Sigma males is to continue being giving while ensuring that their generosity isn't taken for granted. Purposeful compassion builds respect, but unbridled giving produces fatigue. Instead of taking their actions for granted, they carefully consider who is really in need of their help and who is just abusing it. Kindness shows who is strong enough to offer without expecting anything in return and who is too self-centered to ever repay the favor, even if it doesn't truly make you weak. They thus become more deliberate in their acts of compassion, saying, yes, when it is significant and, no, quietly when it is not. Additionally, they don't think twice about separating themselves from others who see charity as an invitation to take more. If this video spoke to you, you may want to subscribe to our channel for more on the Sigma personality and related subjects. Don't forget to use the like button and share your opinions in the comments section below. Thank you for seeing, and as always, keep moving forward and improve.